This is Sweden, this part. And I'm here in Stockholm, where we seem to be on a fast track toward herd immunity. Actually, that's where they have the Nobel Prize dinner. I'm over here. And what I'm wondering is, if destinations are really good at making promotional travel videos, but no one can go anywhere, what do they do? Well, the chances are you've seen some of these, like this one from Switzerland Tourism. Or this one from Abu Dhabi. They're thoughtful and touching. They don't want you to forget about them. But I lost count of these. Not sure who started the trend, but DMOs are pumping them out left and right. Faroe Islands took their typical creative and playful spin by, well, I'll let their director of tourism explain.
We will be fitted with a camera and give everyone access to control us using their mobile phone. When you press forward, we move forward. When you press left, we turn left. And when you press jump, well, we jump.
The problem is, I don't think destinations can market their way out of this pandemic. But I can think of 4 other things that tourism organizations should be doing right now that may be a better use of their time and resources. Venice only looks this empty on Google Earth, and perhaps during the last 2 months. Normally, it looks like this. But remember what happened 2 years ago when Venice installed these turnstiles to limit visitors? There was a revolt, and protesters took them away. I'm not saying this is the exact right solution, but I'll bet if you put something similar back today to limit visitors due to Corona, wouldn't get much opposition.
We've been knowing the carrying capacity of this town for many years, but kept exceeding it systematically. But I think with the effect of the current pandemic, people are ready to somehow accept some limitations.
If we hop across the Adriatic Sea to another of the world's most popular destinations, same thing. This Game of Thrones hotspot has also been trying to limit visitors. And it hasn't been easy. Maybe now is the right opportunity. The locals understand that social distancing simply won't allow these crowds. And for the first time, they can all agree they don't want them either. And if we cross the Mediterranean to Barcelona, they've been grappling with the same issue. Their mayor even came to power on a platform of kicking out tourists. But limiting visitors has proven complicated. Now may be the perfect chance to fix that problem. Even the very pro-business World Travel and Tourism Council agrees.
Yeah, look, there's absolutely no disguising the fact that this is really a terrible time for tourism, but the destinations and tourism actors that play their cards right can actually turn this into an opportunity. But to do so, they need to use this time properly to adapt strategies that place destination stewardship front and center of their thinking. And that's really about finding ways to work together to take better care of the places that we live and the people that live there.
Here's an easy way to think about it. Our response to overtourism should mirror our response to the coronavirus. I'll let Signe explain.
We need to flatten the curve. This time it's the tourism version, but we can use the same graph to illustrate the point. We don't want to maximize tourism growth in our eagerness to regain what has been lost. We don't want tourism to overburden our destinations and our communities. We need to flatten the curve. We need tourism to spread out throughout the year. We need to reinvent the business model as we move forward, because if not now, then when?
So let's get to those 4 things. Number 1, figure out your new vision of success. This is the time to have those tough policy decisions that redefine what kind of a destination you want to be, who you want to attract, and how to manage it. This is the new thinking that the Netherlands came up with.
We're aiming for the sweet spot in tourism, and for us that means a win-win-win situation. A win for local businesses, a win for visitors, but also a win for locals. And often we'll see a lot of nice initiatives which are great for businesses and visitors, but sometimes they forget about the locals, and we think we need to bring the locals more into the equation.
And in Amsterdam, they're adopting the donut model, based on Kate Raworth's book. I was advocating for this in my TEDx talk last year. In order to adapt to this situation, destinations need to redefine their vision. It can't be more visitors. So what is it? This is a series of discussions that destinations need to be having. If you need any help figuring this out, check out my TEDx talk or get in touch. Number 2, develop new corona-safe attractions. As corona restrictions start to lift, it looks like local and regional tourism will flourish. But look a little closer and you'll see new habits as well. Suddenly that popular museum doesn't look quite as appealing, but that self-driving garden tour does. People want to be outside or in their own cars. According to this recent Longwoods International survey, 74% of Americans plan to travel domestically by car, and the data coming out of China looks similar. My neighbor is one of the growing number of travelers who has changed his international summer plans and bought an RV.
So we were planning to go abroad, but things changed, so now we got this one, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Lithuania is turning their outdoors into a cafe. The Italians are looking into new virus-stopping beach setups. How about some outdoor art exhibits? This Sculpture by the Sea exhibit in Western Australia looks like a great fit. This is the time to get creative with outdoor activities. Number 3, get Corona ready. Make your hotels, attractions, restaurants, and parks ready. Yes, I said parks. Just a few kilometers southeast of Stockholm city center is this nature reserve.
So I thought I'd bike over here and just show you what it looks like.
It's only 10 degrees Celsius, but the parking lot is already packed. The bike parking and cafe are packed as well, and as soon as it warms up a bit, there are going to be micro traffic jams on these hiking trails. Even though it feels safe to be outside, we need to manage the overcrowding here as well. And of course we need new guidelines for sanitizing restaurants and hotels and attractions. Visitors want to see it, or at least see that it's properly certified. Many places are already getting a jump on this. As people begin to travel, they want to go someplace that feels safe, and they want to make sure they can trust the places won't be allowed to be overcrowded. Your hotels aren't full? That can be a good thing. Keeping your hotels from hitting full occupancy can be a premium experience. Number 4, adopt new technology to manage the crowds. When it comes to tourism, or even local lifestyle, people have a tendency to show up at the same times of day and stand in long queues. You could put up a sign that says, please don't all come at the popular times of day. But the smarter way to do it is like golf with tee times, or think of restaurant reservations. The industry term for this is time ticket entry. So you use your phone or computer to book a slot for a museum or a parking spot or even a popular hiking trail. It could be free or whatever the attraction wants to charge. Yes, this removes some of the spontaneity from the experience, but it's safer, better, and spreading out the visitation increases the total capacity and allows more people to enjoy it. Seems like a fair trade-off, especially now. But before you run out and buy an off-the-shelf parking app that allows booking or customizing one to book hiking slots, consider making this part of an even bigger step toward a connected, smart destination. Here's one person who couldn't agree more.
Technology is going to be the best tool for our destinations to spread out all the visitors in a smart way. Why don't we think bigger, and instead of working only with technology for a specific solution about overtourism, we work about smarter solutions regarding developing a smart city.
There's at least one destination that has already started taking the step toward a fully integrated digital destination, and that's Germany's Black Forest. The Black Forest card not only opens your hotel room door like a normal key card, it also lets you into most of the attractions, plus the local water park and local transportation, even electric car sharing. In fact, I visited them to try it out for myself, and it works. Here's me opening the electric car by tapping my hotel key on the windscreen. The CEO of the Black Forest Tourism firmly believes this is the way forward.
First of all, we were very convinced before we had the coronavirus that the overtourism can only be controlled by a system which gives time slots and which regulates the waste for the tourists in a destination. The next step would be how we can use these instruments also for the limitation of hiking trail, because definitely we know this in the time of the coronavirus, where everything was shut down. We had a lot of people. They came to the highlands using the parking areas, and we had to block it because we were overflowed by people coming by car, and use the only possibility to make some leisure activities to walk or to use the bike to explore the highlands and to be outside. You know, that was the only chance for outdoor activities. Right. And this gave us a signal that we also have to think about limitations in this time of the year with the coronavirus, that everybody goes to the same walking trails.
Obviously, crowd control at airports is a huge issue. So I asked Christian Carstens what his company, UNWTO, is doing about it.
What's less known is how airports will enforce social distancing without creating endless snaking lines. One way could be a virtual queuing system, where travelers can pre-book a time slot for processing. This would not only give passengers greater peace of mind, but also provide airports with better forecast data for more accurate checkpoint planning. We are testing both this as well as other density management solutions right now.
I said last week I'd explain how to limit visitors in cities. This is, I believe, the best way. If there's a digital infrastructure that connects the entire city, it's possible to check availability when you book your plane ticket on any online travel agency. In the same way that you can book a hotel and rental car as you book your flight, this would allow you to see the capacity for all the top attractions and book them if you wanted to. But if you're visiting family or traveling for business, it's not much of a concern. But for many visitors, showing them that the top attractions are fully booked is doing them a service, which will allow them to change their dates, or it's maybe even a good reminder they need to book earlier next year. The second and slightly more draconian method is to figure out the carrying capacity and then issue that many visitor passes per day. Some could be included with the hotel or Airbnb property, depends how you want to give them out. There could be various allotments depending on the type of visitor, independent tourists, student backpackers, seniors, business travelers, group tours, etc. And these passes could be free or a flat fee or dynamically priced. But without such a valid visitor pass, people would not be allowed in top attractions or to stay at a hotel or an Airbnb property. Again, this is just an idea, one of several ideas that cities should be discussing right now. So instead of rushing back to the way things were before, let's take this opportunity to make them better. Find those new core values, make a new policy, create some new corona-safe attractions, make sure the key touch points for visitors are safe and corona-ready, and manage the tourism with technology. I know, it's a lot easier said than done. So if you're running a destination and you have any questions about some of the details to consider or how to implement some of these things, please get in touch.